Hey everybody, it's PartyElite, and you might know me from my own YouTube channel centered around strategy, management, and sim gaming. But today I'm here in collaboration with Paradox to help you in surviving the aftermath. Today's topic is specialists, their classes, their stats, and their purpose. Specialists are among the only one of your colonists that you can give direct orders to, and they can help jumpstart your colony in its early days in a few different ways. At the start of a new game, you'll get to pick 2 specialists from a pool of 15, and while they each have backstories that might draw you to them, you might instead be concerned with the value they'll add to your colony and just how much of a difference they might make to your survivability instead. Over the course of a game, more specialists will come to join your colony at random times beyond just the 15 you see here, and you can recruit them at other times too, so don't feel like you're locking yourself out of any particular kind of specialist. These picks just make the biggest difference early in your playthrough. Each specialist belongs to one of 4 classes, determining how they're best used, and though their stats and specifics will vary based on individual characters too, you can get a quick read on what tasks are best performed by who based on their classes. Scavengers are great to have early on in a playthrough since they're able to acquire more resources more quickly from points of interest on the world map. We'll discuss this in more detail in a future video, but scavenging missions can help you acquire resources that you can't yet produce in your colony. While the average scout or fighter is able to scavenge with 100% efficiency, and the average scientist can scavenge with 50% efficiency, all scavengers can scavenge with 150% efficiency, meaning for every mission you send them on, they'll be able to bring back resources more quickly. Scouts are typically the fastest to move around on the world map and unlock unexplored sectors. This makes them great for early exploration, but you won't be traversing great distances early on, so you don't need to rush for scouts. They'll be more helpful further down the line. Fighters are the damage dealers. On the world map, you'll occasionally have to clear out troublemakers, and fighters will do it fastest. But again, you won't have to get involved in combat until further down the line unless you're very unlucky. Scientists, meanwhile, are the fastest at extracting science points from locations on the world map, and they're important to have early on. Research in surviving the aftermath takes time and science points, nothing else. That means the sooner you have access to science points, the sooner you can start upgrading tech, becoming more efficient, and just overall gaining access to some of the fancier toys that'll literally keep your people alive. As I mentioned earlier, while the class gives you a general idea of what the different characters are best at, the stats themselves aren't the same across characters in the same class. Take Satoshi, for example, a scientist who can scavenge as well as any scavengers, but has less health and recovers HP a bit slower too. When scavenging at certain dangerous locations or when fighting bandit camps or attackers, your specialists will take damage to their HP, and they'll recover it at their recovery rate after they've returned home. Low HP means a specialist might outright die more easily, and a low HP recovery rate means once they're hurt, it can take longer for them to get back out in the field. As explained somewhat indirectly earlier, attack is the rate of damage output, scavenge efficiency is the rate of scavenging, speed affects travel times on the world map, and research determines the rate of acquiring science points. So you start with 2 specialists. Occasionally new ones will arrive and you can bring them on board alongside whatever else they have to offer, and occasionally you can recruit new ones to join your lot too. While they're most useful in the world map, they have their uses at your colony too. For one, they're the only colonists that can be given direct orders. This means you can tell them specifically to gather a certain resource, build a specific building, hunt a certain animal, or eliminate an incoming hostile. In the earliest days of your colony, when you'll have a lot to do to establish a solid foundation, the ability to give these orders and rush things along can make a significant difference. Be careful with your specialists though. They can die, and though more will come along, the lost efficiency while you wait won't do you any favors, and it's also an entirely avoidable situation. They don't need shelter, food, or even regular medical care, and all you need to do is make sure to give them enough time to heal when needed, and they should be able to survive. As I've stated a couple of times though, specialists are most useful on the world map. You can select a specialist and send them out using this button here, giving you access to a much greater world beyond the safety of your colony. The world map is a complex layer of the game, and it's the topic of our next video. So make sure you subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with these as they release. And until next time, cheers.